Today's stories include a new cool-looking action game, a new cool-looking TMNT game, and Stellar Blades devs' promising future. We'll have all this and more because this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Yo, what's up? Welcome to Kinda Funny Games Daily for Thursday, July 11th, 2024. I'm one of your hosts, Blessing Adeoye Jr. Joining me is the Nitro Rifle, Andy Cortez.
Good morning, Bless.
Good morning, Andy. How's it going?
I'm doing all right, man. Feel like my voice is kind of going.
Have you been yelling lately? Are you getting sick?
No, well, I took another COVID test this morning, negative again.
Mm-hmm.
But I think maybe it was me shouting so excitedly about, getting angry that the fact that Resident Evil 0 wasn't on yesterday's list.
Oh, yeah.
For Game Showdown.
Yeah.
And then even possibly...
I was thinking about that a lot.
Yeah.
About how many Zero games didn't make it on. Like, I know it's not the most popular game in the world, but like Zero Time Dilemma is the one that came to mind for me.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Are you familiar with Zero Time Dilemma?
I've never heard of Zero Time Dilemma.
I guess it's one of them nerd games out there. Like Barrett's here. Barrett, you know Zero Time Dilemma.
Is that a prequel to Shin Megami Tensei or something?
You heard of Zero Time Dilemma?
ZTD? Is that
you know
how
about
they
the
call
ZTD.
I have no clue what the fuck you're talking about. You just made that up.
Okay, this is another one of those where I step into a different universe and people don't want to tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Stitch in chat says 999. Yeah, it's them games. Them ones. You know 999.
999.
The nonary games.
Like 989 Sports?
No.
Or 999?
099 is like
999. That one I know.
Yeah, it's part of the same franchise. It's part of the nonary games series. Zero Time Dilemma.
The sequel is Zenless Zone Zero.
Whoa.
No, Zenless Zone Zero is actually a different thing.
Whoa.
Zero Escape? Maybe I'm conflating two different things.
I saw a lot of angry comments last night being like, how did you all not say Horizon Zero Dawn or Sly Cooper in those two different categories?
The Sly Cooper thing was pretty shocking.
And I need people to understand that like it's just a memory thing in that moment. This isn't us choosing to not say it and disrespect your favorite game. You know what I mean? Because as soon as the category ended, I was like,
Andy,
Sly Cooper.
You got to double down the other way. This is completely us disrespecting their favorite game. They suck. That's what we got to say.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. You know what I mean? This is the game.
This is the game. Okay. Granted, I've never played any of these games. They've always sound fascinating to me. Like, again, these are the games that my nerd friends fuck with.
Not Addison.
Not Addison. No, Addison probably has no idea what the fuck this is. I'm sure if I called up Michael Hyam right now, he'll tell you all about.
Oh my gosh, of course, yeah.
Call him.
Hold on, look, my phone.
We're gonna call. Wow, that's a camera angle.
Yeah, let's call Michael.
That detective lady.
We're
gonna call Michael.
He's gonna think I'm calling him about rent or something.
Jesus.
Yeah, because I don't call him out the blue. If I need him, I usually text him.
If they remake this game, they better not cover up that cleavage. All right, because I need my women hot in my games. Am I right, Kevin?
You sound like half my Twitter feed right now.
Yeah.
Like, why are there so many of these people on
I sound
Twitter?
like 75% of my Twitter feed right now. I'm calling Michael Hyam right now.
I am.
Yo,
you are live right now on Kinda Funny Games Daily. How's it going, Michael?
oh snap, that's what's up. Big first time, long time. Big fan.
So
What's up?
I'm calling because I'm trying to explain Zero Time Dilemma to Andy, and Andy has no idea what this game is. And I told him if I called you, there's a good chance that you're familiar with Zero Time Dilemma.
Fuck. I'm familiar with 999, but I haven't played the Dilemma.
Okay, that's perfect. Okay, well, could you give like the top level? Like, do you know what Zero Time Dilemma is about?
Not really, no.
Okay, cool.
I can pull up the Wikipedia article and read that for y'all.
No, it's all good. I knew it was a coin flip because I was like, Zero Time Dilemma is part of it's in the same game series as 999, which Andy also had never heard of in his life. But I knew it was gonna be a coin flip of like, I knew you would have played one of these games. But I appreciate you being there because at the very least you helped prove me wrong or help me prove me right to some extent.
That's what's up.
All right, dope. All right, I'll talk to you later.
All right, peace.
I don't know why Kevin just brought up a Tears of the Kingdom.
I was wondering that too. That threw me off.
Guys, it auto played the next video.
And whoever's in control just happens to watch a bunch of Tears of the Kingdom fucking trailers all the time.
I didn't know that it changed the name. I was like, oh, finally, a part of the trailer we're gonna see the gameplay. And like very quickly, I was like, nope, Tears of the Kingdom.
This is not the right
This
game.
is all the video game. Good morning, everybody. How y'all doing?
Good morning. I also want to say, before we even get into it, of course, I'm going to get into the rigmarole where I'm going to say, hey, y'all should write in with your super chats or whatever. This episode, really write in with your super chats, because let me tell you, I'm not one to start off week on a Kinda Funny Games Daily as far as like, Hey, y'all. They ain't shit this episode. What I tell you?
You're setting the expectations low.
I just want to set it's a slow news day. And listen, don't click off because I know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a slow news day. I don't got to fucking listen to the rest of this thing. No, there's good content. Like, we have there's a new TMNT game that was announced that has a new trailer. There's good stuff to talk about. But if you want to get your question read on an episode, today is the day to write in with your super chats. Because let me tell you, we need them.
Yeah.
So without further ado, let's get into it. Remember, this is Kinda Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday, we run you through the nerdy news you need to know about live on YouTube, Twitch, and on podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, support us with the Kinda Funny membership on Patreon or on YouTube to get all of our shows ad-free, watch us record them live, and get a daily exclusive show. For a chance to be a part of the show, submit your thoughts and opinions as YouTube Super Chats as we go. Housekeeping for you. Remember, we're an 11-person business all about live talk shows. Today, after Kinda Funny Games Daily, you're going to get GAMESCAST, and of course, Tim and Greg are gone, which means that I got to pick the topic, which means that we're going to goof around today. We're going to have a good time.
Right.
It is me, it is Andy, it is Roger. We're going to build our perfect open world game. And
I love that.
We got some fun parameters. It's a very fun setup. I might have stole it from IGN UK, but you don't have to tell them. But you're going to want to tune in right after this.
Real quick, Roger Belfon Ronald Belfon rather in the YouTube chat says, it's Bless and Snowbike Mike's best friend.
God dang it. I did see, so there were a couple of people on Twitter that tweeted at me in the last couple of days that were like, hey, I missed you, Bless. I'm like, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
I appreciate that somebody did, unlike Snowbike Mike.
Yeah.
And then the stream after Gamescast is Nick being Nick. If you're a Kinda Funny member, you can get today's Gregway. Of course, thank you to our Patreon producers, Carl Jacobs and Delaney Twining. Today we're brought to you by Shady Rays and A Better Paradise, but we'll tell you about that later. For now, let's begin with what is, and forever will be, the Roper Report. It's time for some news. We have 6 stories today.
A baker's dozen!
Starting with our number 1. Black State has been announced, and it's a Metal Gear meets Portal type of game. This is coming from Ryan Mcaffrey at IGN. They had, I believe, an interview here, an exclusive interview here, where they got to break down the game a little bit. Kevin has a trailer if you're watching the video version and want to keep up. Developer Motion Blur has announced Black State, a visually stunning new third-person action adventure that, if the gorgeous announcement trailer is accurate, mixes the espionage action of Metal Gear Solid with the reality-bending Portal tech of Portal. It's powered by Unreal Engine 5 and in development for PC. After watching Black State's completely in-game trailer, we asked the developers at Turkey-based Motion Blur a few questions about the project. First, what the story is about. Quote, a former military legend is summoned for a mysterious mission to rescue a captive scientist and uncover the truth behind a cataclysmic event. The mission, assigned by enigmatic architects, is shrouded in uncertainty as some doors within the unknown territory lead to unpredictable and perilous destinations. Each door reveals new secrets and challenges, and he must navigate this treacherous landscape, discovering what awaits him behind each threshold to complete his mission and unveil the hidden truths, end quote.
Kept you waiting, huh?
Our next question was about the Metal Gear comparison. Quote, obviously we love the Metal Gear Solid series. While working on our extensive, nearly 500-page game design document over 2.5 years, we constantly admired games like The Last of Us, Metal Gear Solid, Uncharted, and many others that push the limits of development and gameplay mechanics, end quote. Black State has been in development for the better part of the past 3 years. The Motion Blur team says, quote, the idea for Black State originated from the creative mind of Kadir Demerdin. This concept has been evolving in his imagination for over a decade. During this period, extensive research and development were conducted to explore how a small team could produce a game with AAA quality, end quote. Andy, you've been looking at the gameplay footage as it's been pulled up here. What are your thoughts looking at this?
I want to be a hater.
Be a hater.
I want to be a hater real quick, because when you're a smaller developer with not all of the resources in the world, you can put a rolling ball into Unreal Engine 5 and it's going to look really impressive. Because Unreal Engine 5 is going to do its thing.
We've seen all those like Zelda Ocarina remakes that people make in Unreal Engine.
We've seen doofy ass weird walk cycle Mario.
Yeah.
In the here's what Mario 64 would look like in Unreal Engine 5. Yeah, the Unreal Engine 5 is going to do its thing, right? Volumetric lighting, the Lumen lighting system, nanite, all the bells and whistles that come with Unreal Engine 5 are going to make your game look really visually impressive in screenshots. I just as somebody who's like going to nitpick the shit out of this, when you're somebody who wants to generate hype and say we are making a Portal meets Metal Gear Solid video game, I think that comes with a lot of expectations. And when you show screenshots of this game, it looks obviously very, very pretty. But there's already a lot of stuff that I can immediately point out and be like, animations aren't quite there. Some of the character modeling isn't quite there. I wouldn't have shown this dude in the trailer with the beard in the trailer. I would have left him out. He did not look like it was visually impressive enough to include
like the guy
in
with the
this
white
trailer.
beard?
Yeah, the white beard guy is like somebody that I would have not included in this if you want to show off like, look how incredible this game is going to look. It looks like he kind of looks like Gehrman from Bloodborne was ported into. He looks like Gehrman from Bloodborne that was ported into Unreal Engine 5. I think that there's a lot of things you need to get right when something looks this visually impressive, and immediately like I'm looking at, I'll call him Solid Snake for now, just off the top of my head. You know, he doesn't remind me of anybody. I'll just call him Solid Snake just by coincidence. When
his armor's more of a Raiden though.
Yeah, you're right. When he's hiding behind a wall, there's zero facial animations. And it's those little small details that a gigantic team is going to nail down everything.
Yeah.
When your game is less visually impressive, I don't expect those things, but they pop out a lot more and are a lot more obvious when the game looks this good. And you expect to see all of those little details put into the game because this looks like a 300-person team made it. But if it's a smaller team, they don't, you know, I'm looking at this guy right now, just there's a blank slate right there on his face. You know what I mean?
It feels almost like you're punching above your weight. What was that, Kevin?
I was just gonna say, it's very impressive, Andy, for you to notice these things and to like bring it to our attention. Because I was like, this looks really good. And then now you know that.
I mean, if you rewind just like at least 20 seconds when before he goes into the cover shooting system, he kind of I think he takes down the dude.
Yeah.
And these are all things they can add later. I'm not saying they can't do that, but like no, maybe like 20 seconds before he like hides behind that wall. Keep on going backwards. You'll see whenever he takes down this first dude, I think even before here, Kevin, maybe like 10 or 15 seconds before this, you'll see the animation of like, I'm going to take down this dude with zero facial reaction on my face. And those are the little things that really, really pop out. Yeah. Now, all the hater shit aside, super promising to show that like, hey, we're a small dev. We are punching above our weight. Fuck yeah, we are. Yeah. And I love that. And I love I admire that sort of like courage to go for something like this. It's just those little things are going to make this game really sink or swim when I think of like how impressive the day before looked in a lot of those moments. And then you sort of see the gameplay and go, oh, aside from what they chose to show in the trailer, there's a lot of stuff missing that make this game feel how it looks.
Yeah, I think for me, I come back to I was having this thought. I think legitimately yesterday because there was a tweet that was going around about like I'm gonna take you on an adventure, right? There was a tweet that was going around yesterday that was essentially
take me on a ride because I took you on a ride, man.
Yeah, I'll take you on a ride too. The tweet was like, you know, those moments in video games where you're in a sequel and you like the final boss is actually the protagonist in the previous game. Like, how cool is that, right? And I was like, man, that's cool. But also, how many games do that? And I started going to the replies people were listing off. Like, of course, for me, the iconic one is Pokemon Gold. When you get to the end, spoilers for Pokemon
Make sure
Gold.
Nick isn't listening to this.
Oh yeah.
That's
but,
a huge moment.
Listen, there's a moment.
We're eventually going to do a Pokemon Gold Nuzlocke.
All right, come on, guys. Soul Silver. All right.
Well, okay,
sure.
Like I played Gold, bro. Like I could.
At that point, let's just do Crystal. You know what I mean?
Why don't we call out Pokemon for like making 2 games and make us buy both games to get all the Pokemon?
I mean, because it works. It did. But anyway, I started looking at the replies, and Metal Gear started coming up. Not in the final boss, like essence of it, but just in Metal Gear Solid 2, how you're playing as Raiden, and you know, you run into Solid Snake, and like he's a character, and like how cool is that? That like Solid Snake is just this fucking cool ass badass, and you were playing as him in the previous game, right? So you kind of built him up into that, and that started bringing me down this rabbit hole of me thinking about how many iconic moments there have been in video games, and then I started thinking about the current generation, and I started thinking about, do we have as many iconic moments in this current generation of video games that like we're gonna look at 10 years from now and be like, oh, remember this? For me, Elden Ring has quite a bit of those in terms of like your people's first time fighting Millennia, or like so there's certain cutscenes in Elden Ring where I'm like, okay, Elden Ring has some of those, and then maybe God of War Ragnarok.
I will
has some
remember
of those.
this till the day I die, sort of
Yeah,
vibes. Yeah,
but I feel
the
like-
moment you meet the stranger, aka not Balt. No, what's his name?
Oh yeah.
From God of War
Baldur, yeah.
2018. Yeah, that moment of like, you know, he punches him and is like, all right, let's fucking do this. Boom, punches you over the roof, and you're like, oh my god,
Yes.
this is nuts.
So I
Yeah.
started thinking about those moments, and I started thinking about how many of those moments were given to me by Metal Gear Solid, the franchise. There's so many cutscenes where I'm like, oh, this is an iconic moment in video games. And then I started missing Metal Gear, and I started thinking about how shocked I am that we've not gotten a Metal Gear Solid 5 style game since Metal Gear Solid 5. And I started thinking about why is that? And I started going to this rabbit hole of like, oh, well, there's budget, there's all these things. And this is all going to feed in also into our next episode, into our episode of Gamescast talking about open world video games. But I started thinking about like the amount of commitment you have to like curate this open world sandbox that functions as, you know, deeply and as well as Metal Gear Solid 5 does when it is. Not only are there so many tools you have in Metal Gear Solid 5, not only are there so many systems like weather, like lighting, like all these things, but there's also reactivity that comes into play where if you get all these headshots on your enemies, all of a sudden they'll start wearing helmets, right? If you keep going out in the nighttime, they'll start wearing night vision goggles. Like there's so much that goes into creating a Metal Gear Solid 5 style game, or even a Metal Gear Solid style game. And to everything you just said about all those fine details that you're noticing, even in just the artistic direction side of things. Oh yeah, there's like, it seems like there's like a lack of personality here. It seems like, man, I wish this person's like this beard character model, like I wish they looked better, like all this stuff, right? I then look at I'm on LinkedIn for Motion Blur, the studio that I've not been aware of, right? I've not heard of Motion Blur Studios. I looked into them. I went to their website. This is the only game that was listed, and on their LinkedIn, company size is listed as, it says 11 to 50, which is a wide gap. I'm just going to assume 50. Like, let's say they have 50 employees, which is not a big studio. I then start reading through their history, right? Motion Blur Game Studio has been at the forefront of computer and console games, simulation and animation projects, as well as real-time rendering technologies since 2004. Pioneers in the Turkish gaming industry, we developed Turkey's first 3D FPS game in 2001 and made a global mark with the horror slash action game Kabus 22 is what it's called. For nearly 2 decades, our core team has honed its expertise in real-time game engines and cutting-edge techniques, pioneering ways to create exceptional AAA gaming experiences. After extensive R&D, we've developed a revolutionary pipeline to produce realistic and optimized assets. With our dedicated, small, in-house team, we deliver stunning graphics, engaging gameplay, and emotionally cinematic stories, offering an unparalleled TPS I don't know what TPS means actually. TPS action experience.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Yeah, third
person shooter action experience accessible to all gamers. So like that is their thing, right? They've been around for years and years and years. It sounds like, based on parts of this, right? It sounds like one, they've made games before, but also
here's their first game that Kevin just brought up, Kabus
22. Yeah, let this play because I'm so curious about this. But I get the vibe that like they're more so just on the technology R&D side of things, right? Like maybe they produce assets for other games to use, but like they talk a lot here about like, you know, they've revolutionized this pipeline to create realistic and optimized assets. And you look at that trailer for their new game that is like the Metal Gear meets Portal style thing, and I'm like, yeah, that seems like it lines up. Like this looks like a game that is made by people who know how to make something that is very pretty. And I then get into, okay, but is it going to be good? Is the gameplay going to be able to back it up? Is the art direction? Is the story like? There's so much more to it that I'm so fascinated to see. For you making this kind of game that I just talked about, we don't see often. We don't get often because it's very hard to make. I would love for this game to be great. I would love for this game to make it. But I worry and fear that like, yeah, I feel like you might be punching above your weight way too much when it comes to this thing.
And 20 minutes into it, am I gonna realize this is a skip cutscene type of game?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, shoot, do I get to 20 minutes because is the combat that engaging to make me want to stick around?
Yeah.
Again, I went on like that hater diatribe, and I apologize to the devs because I don't mean to be that much of a hater, but it's just like when you're going for that visual look, everything else has to meet that standard.
Yeah.
And when one of those aspects doesn't meet that standard, it sticks out like a fucking sore thumb.
Now, on the flip side, I feel like I could have seen myself saying similar things about games like Stellar Blade, when Stellar Blade was first introduced, or even like a Liza P, even though I think both these games might have had a better like first viewing in terms of like, oh, but it seems like they got something here. But I feel like we're getting more and more of these games that are coming from either unknown studios or studios that are first starting off, or studios that seem smaller, where it is, oh, y'all are punching above your weight, but you're making it happen. Like, we have a story coming up about Stellar Blade and about how like they've I think they've gone public with their funding, and like they've been able to raise like a bunch of money. Like, there's a lot of faith in terms of what that studio is going to do next. I wonder where we're at with pipelines and technology and AI technology, and how that might accelerate the way that the ways in which you can develop a video game, whether it be assets, whether it be gameplay stuff or whatever. I wonder how many of these we're going to get, right? AAA looking games, AAA feeling games from devs that might only be 50 people, or like even smaller, right? 30 people or whatever it is. Yeah.
I just, in those moments, I just immediately think of how wowed I was by even a small studio like Kana, who were, or I'm blanking on the studio's name, but if you've never played Kana Bridge of Spirits, it's originally from an animation studio who then kind of pivoted towards making video games.
Ember Lab.
And I really, really loved and appreciated the moments when Kana is in action and you're seeing all of the facial animations of anger, of rage, of worriedness, you know, worrisome? Being worried? She was worried.
Anxiety?
She was worried. And it's just cool seeing those animations in action, right? I think of playing The Last of Us Part 2. When Naughty Dog has a bajillion employees working on on a game like Last of Us Part 2, which is massively huge. And when you just went through a gigantic scuffle and you're like, I gotta get the freak away out of this action so I can heal. And Ellie's sitting there like, holy, and she's looking stressed out as all fuck, and her facial animations are doing all those small details. And those are the small things that, like, not only does this game in a screenshot look massively huge budgeted, but these little tiny details are also showing me that all of that love was put into these small little areas as well.
I'm so curious to see, like, what does this game look like going forward, right? When do we next see this game? Do we see it pop up at a big thing? Does it look like there's been a lot of progress in terms of like those visual things that you were pointing out? Because I want, I mean, when Ryan McCaffrey here, right, mentioning it looks like Metal Gear meets Portal, and I can kind of see where he gets. I see where he gets a lot of the Metal Gear. I didn't see the Portal aspects, but I also wasn't watching too closely on the gameplay there.
Portal to me means less of walking through portals, shockingly enough, and means more of puzzle solving with physics and gravity and things
like that.
that
Sounds like my perfect video game. So I want to see this succeed. I want to see this be a banger, but we're gonna have to wait and see. For now, let's move on to story number 2. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutants Unleashed has gotten its first trailer. Kevin, I want to live react to this. I'm not actually watched through the trailer yet. If we can play it with sound. Have you seen this trailer?
No.
Oh, perfect. Okay, yeah, let's live react to this.
Aside from the one that we saw at, I think
this is the first trailer.
It was a summer.
Unless have we seen this game before?
Is it the Brawler? Is it the beat 'em up? If it's the beat 'em up, we saw it at a Summer Game Fest or at some presentation. Maybe Xbox, maybe.
Sorry guys, give me one
Nintendo. I'm blanking on what it was.
I mean, there was Shredder's Revenge, but that came out forever ago. Here we go. I got a Wikipedia list of TMNT games.
I'm thinking of the Power Rangers game. Oh shit.
Yeah,
I am thinking of the Power Rangers game because of the Ninja Turtles beat 'em up that came out last year, 2 years ago, whatever.
So yeah, I believe this is a
You're right,
new
Chad,
one.
my bad.
I think we might have known about this one, but like this is the first actual trailer we're getting.
Sick.
For it.
Okay, this is exciting.
All right, you guys ready to rock and roll?
Let's do it.
Turn the audio back on. I'm gonna turn it up a little bit higher.
Mutants
Let
Unleashed.
me know if it's too loud. All right, here it goes.
So, guys,
Perfect.
thought that after beating super
I already
duper
love the art
fly,
style
all was
from the
back
animation.
to normal?
From the movie.
Not quite. A new bunch of mysterious mutants has taken over the city, and somebody needs to do something about it. Are
God,
the
this movie
Ninja
was so
Turtles
good.
up to
It
the
really
task?
was.
I know they've been training hard and are keen to try
Some
their
behind the
new
back?
moves. Leo, Raph, Donnie, and Mikey will surely give their best. Be it facing the challenge on their own or together as a team.
This is a 3D action game.
But will it be enough? A malaise is spreading through the city, and it's impossible to know who to
I wonder if they're
blame
gonna get
more.
Paul Rudd for them. Remember he was one of the characters?
Wait, Paul Rudd was he one of the bad guys?
He was one of the bad guys in the movie.
They had the voice cast for the movie is insane. It was Ice Cube that did the main villain. Right?
Yeah.
He was incredible.
This looks cute as hell. There's just certain sequences where like it definitely
it looks like it could be a bit AA, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Oh,
which is fine.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. There are just definitely moments in shots where it's like, I really wish the lighting was a little bit better here. Because when you're trying to when you're making a video game based on a movie that has, and you're going for the exact identical art style, it's really, really tough to pull that off because we've seen the movie and we know what the movie looks like.
And you're making it like you have 3D models.
Yeah.
For a movie that was a very stylized 2D thing.
But like so far, I'm loving all these character animations. All of that looks adorable. This looks fun. I just wonder if it's going to be. Is it multiplayer? Is it just single player switching between the turtles?
Yeah, it looks like it could just be single player because some of the segments they showed were very much behind the back. You're following this character, and it didn't look like that was like multiplayer stuff.
I don't know why immediately I thought it was going to be like Sifu.
I mean, that'd be sick.
I mean, can you imagine?
I would love that. And yeah, when you mentioned beat 'em, because I hadn't seen the trailer, you said beat 'em up, and I was like, I assume this is going to be beat 'em up. I assume this could have been like a pixel art style thing.
Yeah.
So seeing this pop up, I was like, oh snap. This is being developed by A Heart Full of Games. I'm on their like IGN page, and they have like they made Dragons Legends of the Nine Realms, and then Spirit Lucky's Big Adventure. So not many big bangers listed here, but this is one that honestly, if Snow Mike came up to me at my desk, tapped me on the shoulder, and was like, "Bless, an hour on the stream,
4-player co-op stream."
Or like, yeah, if I want to do a co-op stream for sure. Although I assume there's not co-op.
Yeah, there may not be.
But even if he was like, yo, let's sit on the couch, let's play this for a couple hours, I'd be like, yeah, for sure, let's do it. This looks like a good time. I was a TMNT. Dope.
I wonder if the original voice cast is back.
Ooh.
How great was the Donnie voice actor?
Dude,
that kid ruled.
All them kids were awesome.
Yeah.
It was that weird thing where I'm like, oh yeah, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles are actually teenagers.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the way they approached the way they went about the voice cast for this one, I feel like for me spoke to me better than a lot of the previous TMNT stuff.
Did one of them get in trouble? I think.
Did they? Oh,
yeah,
God. How'd they get? Aren't they like 10 years old? Aren't these the children? How'd they get in trouble?
What do you something happened with one of them?
Did he fucking skip school?
No.
What are you gonna tell me? He fucking smoked a cigarette.
He got a C in Spanish.
Oh shit! I'll get him out of here. Andy, we're going to move on to the next news story, but before we do, I want to tell you about patreon.com/kindafunny and youtube.com/kindafunnygames, where you can go and get the Kinda Funny membership, which allows you to get shows ad-free. And speaking of ads, let us tell you about our sponsors.
This episode is brought to you by Shady Rays. Get ready for the season ahead with quality shades built to last. Our friends over at Shady Rays have you covered with premium, polarized shades that won't break the bank. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers an unrivaled product that's just as good as any expensive pair that I've ever worn. Durable frames and world-class optics for all outdoor adventures. With an extensive array of styles and colors, you're bound to find the perfect pair of Shady Rays sunglasses. Y'all know I've been outside in the sun a lot playing Pokemon Go. GoFest is next week, and I'm going to be wearing my Shady Rays. Every pair of sunglasses is backed by lost or broken replacements. If you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they told us they will send you a brand new pair, no questions asked. But exclusively for y'all, Shady Rays is giving out their best deal. You can head to shadyrays.com and use code KINDAFUNNY for 50% off 2 or more pairs of shades. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 300,000 people. shadyrays.com, use code KINDAFUNNY for 50% off 2 or more pairs of shades.
This episode is brought to you by A Better Paradise. From the writers of the Red Dead Redemption and Grand Theft Auto series comes the new immersive audio fiction podcast, A Better Paradise, Volume 1 and Aftermath. Set in the near future, A Better Paradise tells the story of the ill-fated development of an ambitious but addictive digital game world project led by inventor and psychologist Dr. Mark Tyburn. As the advanced software they developed began to deliver unexpected and disturbing results, the team fell apart under strange circumstances and the project was abandoned. The game world and the super intelligence within were discarded, left dormant and undiscovered. Until now. I listened to episode 1 on my way to work today, and the thing that stood out, of course, are the performances, but then as an audio drama fan, it was the use of monologues. There's a whole bunch of talking here that sets up the world that is not that far from us in the timeline and also not that far from us in the technology, which is disturbing, but I'm quite interested to see where it goes. A Better Paradise is out now and available everywhere you get your podcasts. Go listen today, and don't forget to follow A Better Paradise on your platform of choice to make sure you never miss an episode.
And we're back. And yeah, Andy, if you want to get in some super chats, we're moving on to our next news story.
I sure will.
Let's do it. We got quite a few here.
We got Rooster596 with a $5 super chat saying, "Is it time to switch to PC fully with the price of PS Plus and Game Pass going up every year, and the fact that more PlayStation games are day and date?" I mean, it's time to switch to PC fully if you got the money.
That's the thing is, yeah, like when we're talking about the prices of PS Plus and the prices of Game Pass, there's the price of PC, right? Like you got to pay a bunch of money to get that thing built.
Yeah. If you're going PC, it's because you want that more premium experience, you know. You're not like, you know, I always bring up the example of Greg Miller in the old Ford automobile days and being like, those are too complicated. I'm going to keep riding my little horse and buggy. Why would I want that car? It's too hard to kind of think about. And what if something breaks on it?
Yeah.
It's like, well, what if anything breaks, Greg Miller? Anything could break, right? But
like
PC gaming, you're getting that premium experience. And if you just want to learn how to aim better, it may kind of ruin your whole, maybe don't do that because it may ruin your whole worldview of like, I never want to play another first person or third person shooter on controller ever again. Because you're going to feel like,
listen,
if I wasn't on keyboard and mouse, I'd be
haven't
better.
had that yet, you know? Like every single time I try using this keyboard and mouse, I'm just like, fuck this thing.
I kind of think you're on the minority in that, because when Alfredo Diaz would tell me that, when I'd be like, Alfredo, we're playing Overwatch on Xbox or on PC or on PlayStation, come play with us. He'd be like, dude, I got to play mouse and keyboard. I'm like, come on, dude, quit being a little bitch. And now I get it. Now I'm a little bitch.
Because it's like, I've gotten to a certain skill level, and not that I'm like a fucking beast at first-person shooters by any means, right? But like, I'm so used to playing on controller. Even when I'm playing just on a PlayStation controller, I'm so used to it, right? Like that shape and form factor that I almost feel like I gotta just retrain my mind if I'm gonna like go hard on mouse and keyboard. Like I can do it casually on a single-player thing, but multiplayer, I feel like I'm playing at a disadvantage.
What I need to sit down with you and get your settings down, because I know that you're like Snow Like Mike, playing shooters on PCs with different settings on every PC. Because he'll go home and have a different DPI set, and where he'll move his mouse an inch and his character will do like a 900 Tony Hawk spin. Yeah. Or he'll come to the studio and have it set a different way where he moves his mouse a whole foot across the mouse pad and his character barely moves a little. You know, like he's just playing all over the place and doesn't understand that like some things feel worse because of this.
Yeah, but we got to be honest. That's what makes him a great gamer. You know, it's why he has the rag right
adaptation.
Now. He can come in here, and doesn't matter what the mouse settings are. You know what I mean? He's gonna dominate. Shout out, Sword King.
No, you're right. Well, we also contemplated like getting him a left-handed mouse because we were like, you're left-handed. Maybe
he refused to use it.
Like, actually, you're left-handed. Maybe you should be using a left-handed mouse. Anyway, I would just say, PC is an awesome thing to invest in if you got the money for it, if you got the time for it, if you got the space for it, right? Like it's not for the weak of heart.
Yeah.
It's not for the faint of heart. But if you could do it and if you're up for it financially, absolutely do it.
And also, I think there's an avenue to save money like long term, right? If you like front the money up front for the PC, you are going to save money on these services that are, well, you have to pay for PS Plus to play online. You have to pay for Xbox Gold to play online. You get to like skip that because you don't have to do that as much on Steam. There are a lot of Steam sales all the time. You have a wider library of games to choose from because you have way more indie games and like smaller games that are going to come to PC first before they eventually make their way to console.
And I love that. That's another big sort of selling point for me.
Yeah, like if you're hardcore about video games, I do think that if you play it smart, there's an avenue to where PC is just going to be the better ecosystem for you if you play those cards right. Unless you are somebody that is day and date, I got to play these PlayStation games, or day and date, I got to play some of these Xbox games, right? Like I think it does come down to the exclusives to some extent, but yeah, like the super chat mentions, those walls are breaking down slowly. If you can wait to play the next PlayStation game, they're going to come to PC. You know,
another
these Xbox games are gonna come to do come to PC.
Yeah, for the most part. We're still waiting for Gears of War 2 and 3 to be on the Game Pass PC app. So Xbox, if you're out there listening, engineers.
That seems like they just forgot.
Please.
Who's we that's waiting?
Please do me a solid. Well, because I've been doing a playthrough. I've never played the Gears of War games stories. You know, I've never experienced those stories. I'd always just play multiplayer every now and then. But me and the homie Ray Narvaez we streamed Gears of War 1. I streamed it for the first time, played it for the first time with him co-op a couple months ago. And if you want to play on PC, you have to buy it from the Windows Store. You can't just use so it's a weird ecosystem. The multiplayer is kind of odd. So it's like, I was like, I'll just play on an Xbox. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with going to a controller for that. But it just does kind of astound me that, you know, you can get Gears of War 4 or 5 on the Xbox Game Pass PC app, but 2 and 3 are not available, even though they got the whole cool treatment that Xbox does with their backwards compatibility, where they run in 60 now for the most part. Like, they drop a lot from 60, but they run in 60. They look sharper. They're up-res in a really neat way. And Gears of War Remastered, or whatever that version edition is called, looks really, really damn good and impressive. And I was kind of shocked by how a lot of that game looked and how well it holds up. But 2 and 3, I'd love to just be able to go to the Game Pass PC app and download that shit. Jabberart with a $5 super chat says, the Zero Escape series is essentially if Jigsaw ran an escape room so it gets wild. The second game is probably one of the best twists in gaming, IMO.
Yeah, when I say that my nerd friends fuck with this, there's a reference for the Zero Escape games where I'm like, oh, maybe I should check these things out. Like, they sound like the kind of twist and turny type of like, oh, you are getting into like escape room ran by Jigsaw type shit. That sounds fascinating, and like they have like big twists and stuff, and so maybe one of these days I'll get into it.
One more super chat from Mara. $5 super chat says, have you all seen the trailer for Graceborn? It's a Bloodborne mod for Elden Ring, and it looks like way too much effort was put into it. I need it. I've heard of this. I did see the trailer. I saw, I believe, Maximilian dude talking about it, and they essentially ported the Bloodborne Hunter into Elden Ring.
Oh, that's sick.
And you have your pistol for the parry, and you have your little dash set and all that stuff. It looks pretty damn neat. But it's like, it's not the real thing. Just give me 4K 60 Bloodborne, please.
Give it to us. Story number 3. Stellar Blade dev generates over $300 million in IPO. South Korea's second largest this year. This is Andy Robinson at Video Games Chronicle. Stellar Blade developer ShiftUp has achieved South Korea's largest initial public offering for a video game company in 3 years. As reported by Bloomberg, the Seoul-based company jumped nearly 50% on its first day of trading, raising 435 billion won, or $320 million. ShiftUp's offering is the first for a game firm to clear $50 million since 2021, when PUBG owner Krafton's IPO reached $3.8 billion. ShiftUp's IPO is the second largest in South Korea this year, behind HD Hyundai Marine Solution Co.'s $553 million offering.
Is that the same Hyundai?
You know, I had the same question in my mind. Can we look, Kevin, you would know. Can we look that up? I don't know why I say you would know. You're just smart about this financial shit.
I will do some light Googling.
Yeah, I want to know.
It's one of those things where it's like, I bet you it's the same Hyundai in the same way that...
Did they go public recently?
In the same way that like Yamaha makes fucking violins and pianos, and they also make motorcycles, you know?
So I was thinking about this recently, right? Been watching The Bear.
Yeah.
And The Bear, this season of The Bear is all about the Michelin star. And like...
Oh, it's the same Michelin.
Yeah, and it's the same Michelin that makes the fucking tires.
But do you know the idea behind it?
Well, is it like a travel thing? Like, they want people to drive?
They want people to drive around. So they were like, oh, we're going to put together a guide of the like must-go places.
Can we do that? Is kind of funny. Like, not like, what is like a totally different industry that we can get into?
I see what you're saying.
You know?
Review vacuums.
I was thinking like a Scrub Daddy kind of equivalent.
No, because it's gonna get sexual too fast.
Yeah. Wait, Scrub, like we make like a Mr. Clean type product? Like, what's the Scrub Daddy?
No, like the Scrub Daddy's that little thing you would buy off of TV back in the day, but they sell them in stores, and it's just it's a thing to scrub your sink with or your tub, you know.
What was the The ShamWow?
Yeah, you're
Remember
thinking
ShamWow?
you're thinking that I'm the so and so from
Billy Mays?
ShamWow.
Was that Billy Mays?
No, that
rest
was
in
the
peace.
it was the guy with the big mouth.
He got arrested, right? The guy
Did
looked
a-
like Joker a little.
Did a lot
bit.
of coke, I believe.
Yeah. He
Oh,
looked
I
like
know
he
who you're
did a lot of
talking
coke.
about.
Which is pretty sick when you think
Gosh.
about it.
Shift Up has said it plans to use the IPO proceeds to diversify its game portfolios according to terms of the deal. Shift Up was founded in 2013 by Hung Tate Kim, who remains as the company's largest holder after the listing. The company's second largest holder is Tencent Holdings. Quote, the investment case rests on a stellar game development track record, several growth... God, I just bit my tongue real hard. Growth drivers... That shit hurt. High profitability in cash generation, end quote, said Arun George, an analyst at Global Equity Research. I've been struggling for the last week. A lot of it is just me recovering from COVID. But yeah, I bit the fuck out of my tongue just now. God damn.
Oh, Vince from Slapshot. You're gonna love my nuts. That's right. That's Vince from Slapshot.
I love my nuts.
Yeah, because he would like the Slapshot was that thing that you would.
Oh, yeah, I remember that product.
It would cut.
Dude, why was I 10 years old obsessed with these fucking products, man?
Yeah.
Because it was on TV when you weren't going to school.
Yeah.
It really was.
Yeah, you'd be hanging out and be like, "What am I gonna do?"
I
guess
was
I'm gonna watch
obsessed. I'll tell you what. I was
Dude.
obsessed with the myth and the legend of Enya. I'd be in elementary school and the soothing sounds of nature and what. And it's like, who can say and it's like, buy this CD on TV.
Yeah.
And it was like, and sail away, sail away, sail away. It was just all these like
Dude, I'm trying to
moods, moods of the fucking whatever. You know what I mean? It
Oh,
was
dude, there was
awesome.
you just unlocked memory. At some point, I'm gonna remember the song. There was like a song that would come on in one of those commercials that was like the greatest hits CDs or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah,
and there was one. What was that first one you sang?
Who can say one another?
Yeah, okay, that was one of the ones. I remember that one. Yeah,
It was the
very
only
specifically.
time, I believe, is what it's called.
Yeah,
That was Enya.
man, shout out commercials, dude.
Sail away,
I don't know why I was 9 years old obsessed with ShamWow. Like now that I think back, I wondered one so bad.
we all did. Then when they would do the car was wet and they'd put it and slide it across and the car be dry, you'd be like, it's a
Like,
magic.
whoa. It's
Yeah.
like, there's no way. There's
Yeah.
no way. But yeah, good for Shift Up. You know, Stellar Blade came through, did what it was supposed to do.
You don't care.
I don't care, man. When I tell you, I was like, fuck, there's really no news, man. Over here talking about investment. Cool, they raised a bunch of money. But no, I do care on the sense that, like,
Imagine if they didn't censor it. Let's be real, man. Come on.
they didn't censor. Wait, they didn't
Censor
censor
them
what?
boobs, you know, they would have made more money.
Oh
you
my
know what I'm
gosh. Could
saying?
you imagine? They
Can you
probably sell twice
imagine?
as much. Have some balls. Show some balls.
Dude, I love Stellar Blade. I
a
never
good game.
fully beat it. I want to beat it before the end of the year for Game of the Year talks. I got really, really far into it, and the last boss that I fought was super sick, and it was really tough, and I'm excited for the rest of it, because I know that where I'm at in the game, it gets even more tough and more challenging. I love Stellar Blade.
Yeah.
I'm excited that this studio is, you know, started off with that one Nikkei game,
like the mobile
Statue
thing.
of the Goddess or whatever the hell, with
Yeah.
the, you know, boobies jiggling and stuff like that. And they're like, what if we made a third-person action Souls-like game? Yeah, I'm calling it a Souls-like game.
Mhm.
And they did a damn good job. And I think it's like a really cool success story that it's so hard to go into that market and make a game that can feel as good as it looks.
Yeah.
And I think they crushed it. And I'm excited for the next sort of thing that they make, because I know it's going to be even more impressive.
Yeah, Stellar Blade is one that I think a Stellar Blade 2 could be truly special. I think Stellar Blade 1 got the job done. I forget what I gave it on the kind of funny scale. I think I gave it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I think you give it a 4.
Yeah, and I would probably give it like an 8 out of 10,
too,
right?
yeah.
Like it's a great
I
great
really
video
like it.
game.
Yeah.
But I think it's on that cusp of, oh, this can be excellent. Like I think if they locked in more on like narrative and characters and like made something that was a bit more memorable on that side of things, along with having the style of combat that they I think nailed in Stellar Blade, and then double down with that. I'd love to see more weapons. I'd love to see more different kinds of abilities and stuff. Like I could see all the room for improvement, and I think they could do that, right? Like this investment, I think, is only going to further that. And I would also love to see what else they got up their sleeve.
Yeah.
I'm down for them to the fact that Stellar Blade came through as a new IP and was as good as it was. I would love to see what other stuff they can come up with as far as like new IP, new types of action games. You know, I'm always for me the door is always open for.
Why is Kevin laughing?
I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to have it unmuted. I was trying to figure out this Hyundai thing, and like I was only half paying attention because I was trying to like fix time codes when you brought it up. So I've been being like, how is Hyundai connected to this Stellar Blade people? I'm like, wait, what am I missing here? And no, you were just talking about it being the second biggest company.
Hyundai was like,
And also, you've been on the gym shot for about an hour.
Oh, yeah, we're leaving it on the gym shot now.
I think this is the new thing. This is the new thing we're doing. It's the close up
we're trying. What do you think, Andy? You like it?
I mean, I like it. It's just, it feels like you just forgot about it.
So this is the Hyundai Marine solution.
Yeah, it like I can't.
Wait, so what is it?
I don't know. Some
Ship
big-
repair?
No. I think maybe they build
Man,
and also transport cargo.
There's no way there's not illegal
But
shit happening in a company like
It seems
that.
different than the Hyundai Motor Group.
But
then there's a lot of weird stuff where suddenly it's like, oh, it's also these other Hyundai Marine and Fire Insurance Group. And
Well,
it's like,
imagine Hyundai is just a popular name, right?
Is
I
it?
got to assume they're the conglomerate.
See, I was thinking of like,
I'm like, Hyundai's got to have their arms in all sorts of baskets. Got their fingies in all
so you
sorts
think they're
of
like
baskets.
Michelin?
Yeah, I think so.
They're like, yo, what business can be? See, I just assumed many different Hyundais.
I think Michelin just does the tire and the like.
For now.
So far, yeah.
Yeah, no, they're gonna fucking
They're going for the
expand.
Souls like.
Do you guys know they also like? I think they're like 100-something years old. Like that was like one of the first tire companies.
It's one of those companies I'm like, you shouldn't be around for that long. Like we should public domain,
Michelin?
we should own that
No,
now.
I
come
see
on.
what-
They-
yeah.
they
Because I
make
think about
great tires.
Nintendo as well, making like card trading or not.
Card games.
You know, they were
Yeah.
making like
They're
weird-
making like 52 deck. I'm pretty
like
sure.
150 years ago. It's
Yeah.
like there's no way you're doing that. You know? I don't know if I need
Wait,
visual
what do you
proof.
mean?
You know what I
You
mean?
don't think they were making cards?
That's just I don't know.
That wasn't that long
I just
ago.
don't- I
I'm
don't
pretty
know
sure
if
we have the
I don't know if I
history.
trust the history.
Yeah, I mean, we can probably Google.
all I'm saying, bless is do your own research.
Could you imagine Michelin Man going into public domain and like people start doing all the stuff that they're doing with Winnie the Pooh to Michelin Man? They make a Michelin Man Souls like.
I don't understand public domain.
What about it? Don't you understand?
I don't understand that somebody just decided, a group of people decided, hey, after 100 whatever years,
96.
90, that's such a weird, arbitrary number.
I get it though.
After 96 years, you could just use something that somebody else created. And
Yeah,
why?
because
Like,
it's like,
I
what,
don't.
you want people to own art forever after they're gone? You want their estate to like what for thousands of years own this thing?
No, but I just don't. It's not that I'm against it and the idea of it. I just don't understand how it was agreed upon.
But and
It's such a weird thing to like be like. Put yourself in the mind of these people making this decision 100 years ago or whatever, 200 years ago, and going like,
Uh-huh.
I think it's less than that.
if I create a little dude, I think that like somebody else should be able to use that dude 100 years from now.
But think about the fact that like how many things become like Santa Claus. At some point, someone was like, and then this motherfucker wears red and white and he goes down your pipes. And like, what if somebody owns Santa Claus? You know what I mean?
Or like Jesus?
All right, now you're making it weird. Now
Well,
everyone's
Is
gonna
that
get all
no? But like,
sensitive
Well, here's
with
what-
it,
because
you
like
know
if a
what I mean?
corporation owned Jesus, it's like and like they got to own that forever.
Well, because what made me initially think about this was just like anytime you play a game with Greek gods,
Yeah.
and I was like, God damn, the people who created this myth and lore, if you're descendants, you'd be like, man, I should own a piece of this fucking pie of all these companies making IP and video games and movies and stories about these Greek gods because my great grandfather. And
then
add
you're-
like a million more greats
But it's
to
like,
that.
but that at that point, it's just become culture, though. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's just part of our
Exactly.
like
You get it,
it's cultural
Wes.
consciousness.
Yeah, but imagine you're the.
Like you can't. That goes back to owning the color blue. Where it's like
I don't know.
like
I think that was a
part of
different
the-
conversation.
You're just part of the Illuminati at that
Or-
point. You can't own Santa.
I
Or
think
the
that was a
darkest
different.
black. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
The what?
the darkest black.
Oh yeah, the one that doesn't reflect light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As we're all over the place.
Story number 4.
Yeah.
I like it.
Speaking of IP that's been around forever, Double Dragon Revive has been revealed. This is Andy Robinson at Video Games Chronicle. Arc System Works has officially unveiled its new Double Dragon game following yesterday's first details in Japanese magazine Famitsu. Double Dragon Revive is being developed by Yuke's, the studio behind many wrestling games, including the recent AEW title.
Oh, damn. Kevin brought up visual evidence of Nintendo's card games.
From 1889.
Damn.
Oh, they look like this?
Yeah, but don't be tricked, because some of these are definitely modern cards.
They're all AI. Look at this.
Can you imagine if these aren't modern cards and it was just like, oh yeah, no, this is,
that's literally a
all
Boo.
the base of all the games.
Boo, not
Like,
around that
damn,
long.
they had
Oh, yeah,
Donkey
it's
Kong back
Kong
then.
right there too.
Golly.
But these are it.
Why do we got Cranky Kong here?
Revive is planned for release for PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X, Xbox One, and PC in 2025. Kevin's pulled up the trailer. I'm not going to read the rest. The rest is basically just describing it. I just want to say I was right when I was talking about this yesterday. All right. I might have not put it the right way when I was talking about it, because like I was describing basically what we got in this trailer as far as my expectations for this Double Dragon thing. Because yesterday we got like very small details as far as Arc System Works is making a Double Dragon thing. To which Tim looked at me and was like, "Yeah, I expect like this could come out and be like a 9 out of 10 video game." And I looked at him and I was like, "No, it's gonna be a AA style thing." Because I think that's just how Double Dragon is treated nowadays. When you look at like the past few modern Double Dragon games, like they've not been these like big hits. They've not been like these incredible video games. They've been like these lower key. Oh, we're just releasing these as smaller. Like almost more budget titles, and that's kind of what this looks like.
Yeah, I think initially the reason Tim said that was like, oh, Arc System Works, like whenever they put their name behind something, whenever they put their studio behind something, it's something that you're going to kind of be wowed by in a lot of cases. Arc System Works is also the studio that was like, hey, we'll make that. Hey, Rooster Teeth, we'll make a game based on Ruby, you know, and they kind of like lent their talents to that or whatever. And I feel like these are just the ones that, you know, kind of keep the numbers afloat while the studio's working on something even larger. Double Dragon to me is definitely, you're spot on with it, an IP that feels like it probably could have died at any moment and just kind of sticks around, and you know, despite everything, it's going to survive and be revived. No pun intended. Double Dragon was just one of those things back in the day that I don't know if there was anything cooler as a kid to not only have the video game and have me and my brother be super into the video game, but have a dang movie. I couldn't believe there was a movie for Double Dragon. That movie's probably fucking awful because I haven't watched it in about 30 years, but like, it was just so cool to have the different venues of entertainment there. And I would have expected this will be on the level of Super Mario for the rest of my life. And it just was never there ever again.
Double Dragon, as a kid, I had on, I think, Game Boy for some reason. I had like one of those, I don't know if these cartridges were ever legal, but it was like 30 games in one cartridges.
They were not.
All right, well, allegedly I had one of those cartridges.
Well, I mean, they mean
because I'm pretty sure my mom got it from like Nigeria or some shit.
Oh, okay. Because I remember seeing cartridges like that you would buy at, you know, a local Dollar General or something, but they weren't like
illegal.
They weren't official games. It was just like baseball and tennis, and there's not much to do. Here's the Double Dragon movie, by the way. And I was like, man, these guys have such cool hair. Like, this is the hair I want, man. No, not the blonde guy with the mustache. Just like the double dragons. Both of them just like awesome. And it just had a lot of weird vibes in this movie.
But yeah, Double Dragon on the Game Boy was like the way that I got introduced to beat 'em up style games. And I remember like loving it for what it was, but then years and years later I saw
that's like, Alyssa Milano.
I saw
Is
Streets
that
of
I also love that.
That's Alyssa Milano with the blonde hair.
Yeah, rewind. Let me see that. I remember seeing Streets of Rage for Genesis and being like, "Oh man, they could look like this. Like these games could look this cool."
Yeah.
Just because the Game Boy was way like, of course, you know, lower res.
Why does it say Double Dragoon?
Listen, it was the 90s.
We didn't know. We're Double Dragooning.
Oh, the title, literally, the YouTube headline is Double
saying.
Dragoon.
I mean, this is the right movie, right?
Yeah. No, this is
all
right.
Yeah,
this is.
I mean, no, obviously, this is Double Dragoon from 1993.
We're just gooning it up over here.
The next news story that got Roger in the background. Story number 5: Sony opens up the Concord early access beta to all PS Plus members. This is Wesley Yin-Poole at IGN. Sony has opened up the Concord early access beta to all PS Plus members. In a post on the PlayStation blog, Alice Lebrec, communications manager at developer Firewalk, revealed details on the pre-download when the servers go live, as well as PC system requirements for the team-based multiplayer shooter. The Concord early access beta runs from tomorrow, July 12th to July 14th, with the open beta running from July 18th to July 21st. PS Plus members need only look for the option to download and play the early access beta when they boot up their PS5. A couple things here. One, I'm excited to try this out. I think right now our plan is to stream it tomorrow, which has me excited. I don't think I've talked about this. I'm going to New York next week, and then I'm also going to Vegas for Evo. So I'm gone.
God dang.
So I won't have access to my consoles. And so I was kind of sad about like some of the dates because I'm gonna miss like the open beta for Concord, and I was scared I was gonna miss this one too. But then I double checked the dates and I was like, oh no, I'm gonna be able to hit it this weekend, which is very exciting because I've been wanting to play this. But then also my second thought is this we always had this plan sort of thing? Like we wanted to get those pre-orders up, but we wanted to make sure that everybody on PS Plus could play this to get that open, or are there not enough pre-orders for this game?
It could be a bit of both. I could definitely see a scenario where maybe the pre-orders aren't where they want to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the game needs to be tried out first. The game needs to be proven to a lot of people to say, I want to put my $40 on this product. What I know is I'm super jazzed up about it.
Yeah.
I'm really excited to play it.
I hope that this weekend people turn around on it. I hope that I hope that like this weekend I'm like, okay, thank God that this game is good, right? I hope I'm not like, fuck, I don't like this thing this weekend.
Now tomorrow we're hoping to stream it.
Yeah,
tomorrow was going to be another Nick Scarpino stream day, and Blessing was like, well, I mean this open closed beta or whatever is ready for tomorrow. Now server issues withstanding, we'll see how possible that actually is. But I'm stoked to hop into it tomorrow with you, me, and Nick. Maybe we get a fourth in there.
It'll be a fun time.
I'm stoked.
It's gonna be a big stream too. But Andy, if I wanted something small, say the tiniest news I need to know about, where would I go?
You would go to our last story, the Wii News channel, where we cover all the small news items you need to know about.
Story number 6 is Wii News. Aero the Acrobat is coming to Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, PS5, and Switch on August 2nd.
Let's see a photo of Aero the Acrobat. Does he look like a human or a bat?
People have been tagging me in this nonstop.
Yeah.
Aero the Acrobat is making a return, which is wild. Because if you watch Game Showdown from, I guess, like a couple months ago, a few weeks ago, we did the portrait mode episode where I asked the guys to draw a bunch of washed up 90s mascots. And the timing on this couldn't be better.
Oh, he looks like a bat. Interesting.
I mean, yeah, he's a bat that is like like acrobatics. He works in a circus.
Yeah, that's interesting. He's definitely...
For me, if I was judging a game and somebody was trying to draw this thing and they drew a bat, I would give them a point.
What if they drew an arrow?
Probably not, no.
Okay.
They drew Oliver Queen. But yeah, shout out Aero the Acrobat making a return. Planet Coaster 2 has been announced and is releasing this year. Greedfall 2, The Dying World, launches September 24th on PC Early Access, and Amazon has announced 3 more free games for Prime Day this month. Those games are Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League,
Holy shit.
Chivalry 2, and Rise of the Tomb Raider. You can get Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League for free if you're a Prime member. Nuts.
Oh, you know what? Greedfall is not Godfall.
No. You thought Godfall 2 was coming?
Yeah, that's why I was very shocked by this news.
If Godfall 2
I was like, this
was
isn't
coming
Wii
out,
news.
that would be my story number 1. I'm like, we're talking about
They
this.
made a sequel? Crazy.
Man, and that's it for Wii News. I think we have a few more super chats here.
Bless, if I may for a moment.
What's up?
I did some light Googling.
Yeah.
Hyundai means modernity.
Modernity. Wait, no.
Modernity.
Wait,
Don't
modernity.
fucking correct me, all right? Don't come at me again like that.
No, I just had. I'm not familiar with the word modernity.
I panicked. You just scared the shit out of me, just so you know.
I'm just not familiar with that word.
And then the Michelin company came into existence 1889.
You mean
Why
Michelin?
is that? Are you done? Why is that relevant? I'll tell you why. Because that's the same year Nintendo came into existence.
Oh.
Coincidence?
Wow.
I don't know.
Wow.
I don't think so. I'm real scared, guys.
Can you
Wow.
Google the definition of modernity for me?
In a second, I also want to show you this horrifying picture of Michelin Man.
Oh my
from
God.
Way too long ago.
That's
People
freaky.
should not have been drawing back then. All I'm
Holy
saying.
shit.
All right, you want me
This
to
looks
look
like
up
a tarot
modernity?
card.
That is free. That is like a persona monster.
Yeah, that's something you uncover like in a tomb and you're going to be cursed for eternity. For eternity.
Eternity. I don't know why. I was so
Modernity.
confident. I was so confident in modernity.
You also said the Michelin name wrong, but I didn't want to correct you in the moment. But now that we're
Who,
at,
I did?
yeah,
I said Michelin, didn't I?
no, you said something else.
I thought I said
pretty sure.
Michelin.
I jokingly corrected you by saying Michelin.
No, yes, Andy.
That was a
remember-
joke,
I
yeah.
remember that 30 seconds ago.
Oh, okay.
The quality or condition of being modern. All right, so it means what I thought it meant. I was just like way off. Yeah, modernity. I could have sworn that. Moving on. All right, it's
Halo
COVID brain
Computer
fog.
Edition.
I'm still recovering from the last week. It's rough out here.
Can you not smell
No, my
barbecue
smell is
anymore?
back.
normal?
Yeah, my smell is
Thank
normal
you.
again.
I'm sorry. I went around that question totally the wrong way.
No, but
That
again,
you understood what I was asking.
I'm convinced I've infected everybody in this office with my brain fog. Nina McKee says, when Club Nintendo used to do the physical rewards, I got a deck of the Hanafuda cards.
What's Hanafuda?
I'm pretty sure those are the cards we're looking at.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
No, I
No?
don't think so.
Mad Rocks, $2 super chat says, have you looked at your pool for Evo Bus?
I looked at the timing. I know when my first or when my match is. It's at 3 p.m. on that Friday. I didn't look to see who else is in that pool because I don't think I'd recognize many of the names.
You versus Mitchell Saltzman, final round.
God, I hope I get paired up with Mitchell Saltzman. My worst fear is like I walk to the station and then walks up Arslan Ash. He's like, oh, we're going together first, huh? I'm like, all right, cool, fuck. I'm gonna embarrass myself. Go up against Sonic Fox or somebody.
Cozy Bear with a $7 super chat says, basement got flooded last night. Currently doing cleanup. Don't worry, the damage isn't huge, thankfully. Either of you have any flooding stories? Yeah, I've dealt with a lot of flooding just based in hurricanes. Like, you know, growing up on the south border of Texas, we had a lot of hurricanes growing up and tropical storms. Dealt with a lot of flooding.
I know Kevin went through it with flooding.
Kevin went through it with flooding. Yeah. We'd always be buying the sandbags and putting them at the front of the door. And not really a flooding story, but pipes froze one time and burst when I was in Austin, Texas, and I was having to sweep water out of my apartment floor. It was like 15 degrees outside, and I was having to sweep the water out. 15 degree. My feet are just, my grippers are just out there getting all drenched. It was a bad time. It was a
terrible.
horrible day. Horrible day.
Well, a few years ago, there was a lot of rain going down in like December, like winter in San Francisco. And the street that I live on is like basically on both sides of the street. There are downward hills. So I'm at like the bottom, right? And so our street, it just tends to flood if there's a lot of rain. It was the first time that I'd seen it happen. When I tell you that I was watching cars get submerged underwater. Like the height to which the water was raising was like to a dangerous level. Our first floor, which like me and Michael live on the top floor. Our first floor, which thankfully there are no apartment units on, just like our mailroom. Legitimately, like water just fucking flowed in. If I went and like I stood on that floor, water would be like halfway up through my knees.
Oh my God! Here's another image of the Michelin Man. This is a really nice.
He's
piece
not
of
even
art.
looking at us though.
Yeah, he turns around. It's a horror show.
Michelin Man looks like a villain.
How's your family in Houston, by the way, with the floods, with the hurricane?
You know, not check.
Yeah,
I should look into that.
yeah,
That's a good call.
yeah. You should. There's a lot of bad stuff happening in
Texting me like,
Houston.
yo,
Our
y'all
thoughts
good?
go out to everybody in Houston because we know the hurricane affected a lot of people. The final super chat from Sebastian says, "Hey guys, I found a sealed copy of Metal Gear Solid Peace Walker for the PSP. Should I open it and play it? Thank you." Absolutely not.
No.
Sell it to Greg Miller for $40,000.
Oh yeah, if it's sealed. Yeah, no, yeah. Hold on to that.
Sell it to Greg Miller.
Look
yeah,
up the prices you can sell that for, and then I don't know,
Capitalize
buy
on
it
that.
digitally, I guess,
Yeah.
if you want to play
just
it.
download it on
Just
something.
Yeah,
Whether legally or illegally, that's up to you.
and you own a copy, and so
Yeah.
like Who you hurting if you get a little ROM? You know.
I mean,
Monkey Love in the chat says this looks like World War I propaganda.
I was holding this up.
Oh my god!
I choked. Because like he looks like a villain. I know they're not monocles. He's wearing glasses, but it's got the loop to like keep it on. His martini glass is filled with metal.
He looks like a bad guy in the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yeah, he's smoking a cigar. He's got that little ring, that pinky ring.
Oh yeah.
Also, he's just got a breathing apparatus in front of him. I know it's to fill tires, and that's a tire gauge in the middle of it.
Who are the dudes on the right and the left? Who are these bloodborne enemies on the right and the left?
No.
What does that say?
Very, very odd.
Also, that Kevin cough was very Rick and Morty season 1 coded. Sound like you're about to die for a split second.
I was fighting a choke there too, where it was spit went down the wrong tube, and I was
God.
you gotta hold it together for another second.
Did you end up getting HBO Max for Smiling Friends?
No, not yet. Maybe I'll watch that on a plane to New York. I'm trying to think of what I'm going to do on the plane.
Dude, that's a perfect show. It's the perfect flight show.
Now it's time. Kindoffunny.com/you're wrong. Rewrite in, let us know what we got wrong as we got it wrong, so we can correct it for those watching later on YouTube and listening later on podcast services around the globe. Let's see here. Sal writes in and says TMNT Mutants Unleashed has 2-player local co-op.
Ooh,
I love that. That sounds like it's going to be a stream that you'll be on.
Pulsing Hole says that's her name.
Christ.
TM is spelled the W though. W is like whole, whole number.
I'm sure that's what they meant.
TMNT Mutants Unleashed is a 4-player only or 4-player online only co-op, and they say there won't be any local co-op.
Y'all got to fight.
Which is the opposite of what that last person said.
Y'all got to box.
Somebody says here that mouse and keyboard is easy for FPS.
Isn't easy?
They say mouse and keyboard is easy mode for FPS. It's like asking for an easy mode for a Souls-like game. What are you talking about?
I mean, he's right, because clicking and shooting is way
I always
easier.
used to make the joke when I would play on console primarily, and my friends would give me shit. They're like, "You're not playing Overwatch on PC? Why are you playing on console? It's just all slow." And I would always be like, "Dog, have you ever ever misclicked on an icon on your desktop? No, it's just so easy.
I mean, yeah.
It's easy mode."
That's the thing is if I'm on console, I don't want to play against people on PC.
But I mean, see me in the
FPS.
streets and I'll fucking clean your clock. All right.
Yamaha Corp and Yamaha Motors are not the same company. Motors was originally founded as Nippon Gaki Co.
No, we were asking about Honda, right?
I disagree.
And then that's pretty much it. A lot of people are talking about Michelin in here.
They're wrong though, right? Yamaha Motors has the same logo as the Yamaha Instruments.
Yeah. It's the exact same logo.
Yeah, it's a tuning fork.
It's the same
3 tuning forks, right?
Well, no, I just see the word spelled out.
I don't like the way you said that, Andrew.
it's the Yamaha logo is just the word.
Bring up the two logos.
You're talking about that thing. No, look.
Just so you know, you sound like a goddamn idiot right now. And
But nobody knows of that.
That's twice you correct me when you should have.
Nobody knows the circle logo. Everybody just knows the word.
Okay. I mean, that's not the logo, though. The logo is the 3 tuning forks.
No, but they're both just logos. They're both used in different ways.
No.
They're alternate logos. That looks like the first order logo.
So this "you're wrong" is what we're saying.
No, I mean we're not looking into it. We're not looking into it.
Yeah,
we're not.
We don't got time. We got to move on.
But these are 3 tuning forks, right?
I lost the
Bless.
plot.
You can agree with me on that.
You're asking the wrong person. All right? I'm barely here. I am somewhere else.
Bless, I need you to just agree with me, please.
I agree with you, Kevin.
Thank you. Fuck
course,
you, Andy. Come at me like that.
This has been Kind of Funny Games Daily. Each and every weekday, we run you through the nerdy news you need to know about.
Hope you
live
choke on more spit.
on YouTube, Twitch, and I'm going to bite my tongue again, and podcast services around the globe. If you love what we do, support us with the Kind of Funny membership on Patreon or on YouTube to get all of our shows ad-free. Watch us record them live and get a daily exclusive show. Enjoy the GAMESCAST next after this and the stream after. Until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you Game Daily.